Hello, welcome to this new episode of the Alex Show TV. And as you can see, I have a guest, and I have the pleasure of honor of having Olga Perez from the Olga S. Perez Show. Thank you, Olga, for accepting my invitation on the show.
Thank you for having me, Alex.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Same here, same here. I knew about Olga by watching her on my friend Adam Booth's channel, Sugar Tree Truth, out there in Beachwood. Unfortunately, as I shared on a video a few months ago, Adam passed away on March of this year. Actually, Olga was sharing with me on close to the day that we're going to do another show. And so, Olga, we're talking before recording. If you'd like to start about that, we're talking about Trump. So the election is in a week. Actually, exactly in a week. And there's this story going on. There's a lot of traction with it that Trump has a higher purpose, literally, that he comes here with a more like a spiritual purpose of joining the world, of bringing a change to this world. And I shared, and I'm going to say it publicly, I still don't understand Trump. I think I don't understand him, so I don't like him. Some of the things he says, especially about Mexico, about some of these things, but I do abide to the idea that he's here for a higher purpose and he's going to open up things. First of all, I'm going to share it. I think there's 100% chance he's winning on Tuesday, so he's going to be the next president of the U.S. And so what do you think about that?
What exactly? He's going to win.
No. What do you think if Trump is really here on a higher purpose, spiritually speaking?
Oh, that's the...
No, he's going to win. He's going to win. We agree. We both agree, I think.
Well, I have a background. As part of what I do as a consultant, life strategist, aka life coach. And one of the things that I use, one of the tools that I use is some astrology and a lot of intuition, some wisdom along with intuition. So when you look at astrology, and even if you just look at the Greek mythology and the stories that play out in Greek mythology or the stories that play out in the Bible, right? And when you've been reading people and predicting things or understanding them through their chart, through their universal ID card, as I like to say it, then you know that everything is fated. When you try to help somebody get to a certain point in their life, whether it's, out of getting in your own way, or not doing well in relationships, or not communicating well with coworkers, right? Or getting doing a good interview to get the job you really want, right? So when something's not meant to be, no matter how well you were trained, no matter how well you try for it, no matter how much you shape yourself to get what you want, if it's not meant to be, it doesn't happen. And I've seen it for over 30 years, so the question of fate and destiny, there's no question for me at all. And everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a purpose and a fate and a destiny, period, end of the story. Like there's no gray area here. Either you believe me or not, it's up to you, you know what I mean? But it's the facts are, to answer your question, I wanted to make sure you knew my background, because when I say I do believe he's fated, do I know like if he's a reincarnation of something or reincarnation of an angel? I'm not sure. All I know is that God doesn't play games. God, the creator, whether you don't have to look at it even as a religion, right? Just our body is incredible. Our heart is the best motor ever created, and that it can last so long and pretty well too. You know what I mean? So we come from something. That creator is beyond, and as the Bible would even say it, omnipotent at the very least, right? Almighty, omnipotent. So there's no doubt that he's smarter than anyone. And then if you understand the world we live in, which is like a lot of people call it the Matrix. So I know that we also don't live in a reality. That's a fact. I know this. That's actually what helped me be strong. That's what helped me help others when they saw that I had made major changes throughout my life 20 something years ago. And it was letting go of the ego, letting go that you know anything. Like, was it Aristotle? I always say this wrong. Was it Aristotle that says, I only know I know nothing? Or it could be Socrates. I always mix those two.
Good question. I don't remember. It was
Do you
one of the
remember it
two, I'm
says,
sure.
I know nothing?
I think
You've
it's
heard that one.
Socrates. I think it's Socrates.
I think it's Socrates, yeah.
Yeah.
So the more you know, you really should come to the conclusion that you don't know anything. So the real literal meaning of having an open mind, because people are so quick to be like, I'm open-minded. I'm open-minded. Well, maybe you are. Let's see. And when you challenge their beliefs, they either get defensive or they disagree like wholeheartedly. So they're right there. That initial knee-jerk reaction tells me that you're not that open-minded. Because if somebody says to me, well, what do you think about this? I'm like, that could be. That could be. Everything's possible in reality. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, it does. It does.
we don't know how to, walk on water, but it doesn't mean it can't be possible.
Exactly. Yes. And I think the way it has worked for me is you have to be open to be wrong about everything. So some people put a lot of weight in their beliefs. That's fine. But be open that there's another possibility there. Okay. So for me, in the case of Trump, there's this idea. He's obviously a very special man. I mean, even if I personally don't appreciate his comments on Latins and Mexicans and that. I don't take it personally, but I think it's a little bit too generic. There's good and bad people everywhere.
See, there's where the astrology comes in. Go ahead. Remind me, because I'm going to tell you there's a reason, and it's in his chart. He's a Gemini with a
Okay.
Leo ascendant, and I can explain to you everything he does.
There's
This
a
is
reason
why,
for it.
yeah, it's not that you don't have to like him or dislike him. He was born this way. So it's funny. Today I was hearing, obviously, as we're getting closer to the election, I was hearing the typical, and I was going to talk about this in my podcast tomorrow, that everyone keeps saying he shouldn't have said this, or he just said, and these are like his supporters, right? MAGAs or whoever, Republicans. And they're like, but he shouldn't have said this. He should have waited. Why is he changing the game now? It's like, do you understand that everybody is saying, whether they like him or they don't, whether they're left or right, they're still all 5-year-olds, because they're literally saying, just tell me what I want to hear. You don't have to do it. Just tell me. And I'm an action-driven person. Don't tell me, do it. Show me. So that's where it's funny that you mentioned what he said about, like, if he says things about Hispanics, because it's all talk. It's all talk. If you go to your famous, I don't know, your favorite deli or favorite restaurant or something, right? And you love, like, I don't know, their favorite dish, you love it, you go there at least once a week, maybe once a month, but the guy who works there is an asshole. But you're like, you know what? I'm just going to get my stuff. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to go, because they're producing something that I enjoy. I shouldn't have interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect. And
I get
I
excited.
agree. It's like being an actor. Sometimes it's actors that they portray a part. And I'm trying to think of a famous one. And some people dislike the part, dislike the part in the movie, and they don't understand there's a human being behind it. So there was a case here in Mexico, very famous, of an actress in a telenovela, this kind of soap operas for
The one
TV.
that went to go see El Chapo?
No, I'm
Oh.
talking like in the 80s. One that was a very evil woman, and very evil stuff. She will kill family members and stuff in the telenovela, in the soap opera. But the actual person was really nice, like really nice. This kind of very subtle personality, really nice. So she will get in trouble when in airports and that, because people will care for how evil she was in her part. So I think Trump has this personality, maybe this part he's doing as a politician, basically all his life, even when he was in business and that he's very straightforward. He's kind of a bully type. He will corner you in a way, and he will do that to other prime ministers and presidents and things. But we don't know if, like a father, like a human being, he's a little bit different than that. That's what I'm open to. But this story is that he's here with a purpose. He's here with a purpose, and the purpose is beyond the United States. And the purpose is really to bring humanity into the next step. Okay, I'm talking new energy sources, and I'm talking really an advancement in humanity. Okay,
I agree.
this is I'm very apolitical. I'm not into left and right and those kind of things because I think the best president could be from the left or the right. It depends on the person, not really the party or the ideology. But I'm confident and positive in a way that I want to see what this Trump presidency brings to the U.S. and the world. Okay, to see if we can see this kind of new revelations or something like that he's going to bring on this higher purpose that he has apparently.
Well,
and this is related. I just want to say
put him
before
in
you start, this is related to a very out there stuff, a very out there topic of QAnon. You probably have heard about this.
Yeah.
So I know it's very controversial, but they talk a lot about this higher purpose story for Trump out there.
I don't really follow it, but I know what Q is and stuff, and I've looked into it, but I don't really follow it, so I can't really say much to it. But there is only one Almighty. Besides that, or next to that, would be Jesus Christ, who walked on water, and there's witnesses. Rose from the dead. Witnesses. So this isn't just some story. This really happened. So with that being said, what Jesus did already, okay, was to save the world, right? They're saved, or to get us out of sin, from the covenants. I mean, that would be a whole conversation about the Bible and the stories of the Bible, but in a nutshell, so Trump, even if he was a reincarnation of an archangel, he's not God and he's not Jesus. So therefore, the fact that we as humans, as the people, put all this power, comments like that remind me what you just said a minute ago, remind me of that this guy is going to be, he's not, okay? He's not a resurrected, he's not the second coming of Christ. He's not. That I stand firm. I could be wrong. I'm fallible, I'm human, but I stand very firm that I believe I have a very close relationship with God. I talk to God all the time. I pray all the time. I don't go to church. I'm not into religion, but I try to abide by the laws that God and the Christian laws that Jesus Christ brought. Love thy neighbor. You know what I mean? Like you love thyself. That's like my number one. You can't go wrong. If we all loved each other, there wouldn't be no wars, right?
Exactly.
So that's my thing, that he's not the savior. And with that, not only does he not have the power to make this massive change that the world is going to be saved, the world is looking here. I know this. I know the whole world is looking to see what's going to happen in America. And what happens here will affect the world. But, honey, he's just a chess piece in the real creation of God. You know what I mean? Or the Almighty or the universe. Like, we don't have to get religious. Just the vast intelligence that's playing. And we're like kind of like the chess pieces or like the peons. And so the only way to fix this, and this is coming specifically for two reasons: my intuition, my belief, my psychic abilities, in other words. Some people can call it that. I just don't like the word psychic because, there's so many scams. And I don't question myself because it's never been wrong, but it's not me. I'm not gifted. I just listen and I hear things or I see things, and I don't question. I go, oh, and then I find out, it's like, oh shit. So we all have that intuition. And then the other one is that the only way, as a life strategist, as a coach, the only way to fix the problems is to break down the existing system. You cannot fix the system. You have to break it down. You've heard of that saying, this is something I use a lot, clean house?
Yes.
When people hire me to help them in their businesses, I come in and I say, okay, yeah, I'm going to come in, I'm going to clean house. I fire half the people, sometimes all of them. Set it all up, hire new staff, start from scratch, baby, because that's much more productive. You as soon as you try to pluck people out and who's the bad guy, who's lying, how about you're all gone, you're all fired? So if Trump can do that, which I believe he can, but I know that there's going to be something bigger, whether it's earthquakes or the banks finally show their real hands that they don't have money. You know what I mean? So it's going to be something like that that's going to change our world. It will not be Trump. I'm just going to say it. If I'm wrong, we'll talk.
No, that's fine. I agree. He's not a savior per se, but more to introduce us to a few things. I agree that we need to to replace the system, as you say. It's not really retool it or change it. I think the problems are different. We need to start over with something new. And one thing you said of that message of Jesus Christ, he always said that love is in your heart, and that God is in your heart, and that we are here to serve others. Okay, we
You
have
said that,
forgotten.
look, I'm getting teary. I don't know if you can tell. As soon as you said that,
No, that we're here to serve others. Okay, so if we put all the energy trying to divide us into uniting us, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll be fine. But a lot of things have to change. And going more into what's happening in a week, of course, all the world is watching. Also, the United States is still the most powerful country in the world. So we're always worried that there's someone that will, if a crazy man ever gets to be president, or a crazy lady of the United States, that'll be trouble for the world for sure. We're all watching. It's something personally that I'm very attracted to watch election night. Also, the political system of the U.S. I know in the U.S. is not very. There are a lot of detractors, but I find it so interesting how the electoral college and how some states have more. Like California, I believe, has 53 or 51 electoral college votes, and how it works. It's very attractive, much more attractive than the regular elections somewhere else that it just basically votes, and if one has one more vote than the other, they win. Okay, in the U.S. there's so much strategy going on, and and if they win this state, they're almost there, and it gets very exciting for the viewer. I watch every 4 years, to be honest with you. So I feel there's nothing more to say. Trump's gonna win. I really don't want to get into talking about Kamala Harris because I know there's something to talk about her. So I don't know how you feel. You that are in the U.S., how are you feeling things are? There was also a lot of talk. There was
it's going to
going
get
to
really
be
bad. It's going to get really bad. It has nothing to do with Trump.
okay, but like
Many
in next
people blame
week
it on
or
Trump. The United States, the whole world is wake up call, honey, wake up call, because
okay.
wars can't even be funded without the fake money at this point. So again, everybody needs to change. See, this is, if anything, if we've learned anything in the last couple thousand years, based on stories, whether it's from the Bible or the Greek mythology or just stories in general, wars from the past, 2,000 years, we got plenty of time. There's plenty of books, there's plenty of knowledge to realize that we, the people, we are responsible. We have our own sovereignty. You take a village, just a regular village anywhere in the world, but a village that's like, maybe they have a mayor, right? Because they need somebody to make a decision if there's a fighting on the street, right? Or something between neighbors or something like that. But in reality, if they all get along, they don't need that. Like the mayor for what? Like, oh, we need to build a road or we need to pave the road. Everybody from the village gets together and does it. So when people work in a team and everyone has like the same beliefs, right? Like don't steal, right? No cheating, because then that's going to cause fights between us. You can't be functional if you don't have certain agreements together, right? Don't lie, don't steal, right? That's how we all tend to get along a lot better and work together and love each other. So we all have to get back to that. That real community is not the television. It's not the team. What team are you on? Like a basketball game or a football game. This is not the gladiators, right? The bread and circus. That's where we're at. And in reality, we should be growing our own food. We should be self-sustainable. We should not be producing anything made or wrapped in plastic, but we do. Like everything we do everything is the money. When they say that the money is the root of all evil, it's not. It's the fact that the person, oh, well, I'll do that. Oh yeah, then I can buy that car I want, or I can buy that big house. You don't even need the big house. You can't even clean it by yourself if it's that big, right? If it's real big. So at the end of the day, we want what? More clothes? More what? You want the ability, the freedom that you think money gives you. But if you had to produce it, if you had to, grow and I'm not saying we have to go back in time, because we have the technology to make our life easier to grow our own food, for example. But we shouldn't make anything. We should not be creating anything that is a real major pollutant. It's an oxymoron. No animal does something to make itself sick, but we do, and we sell ourselves every day. Every time somebody goes to any major store, Target, right? Whether it's a fast food store, whether it's a, because you're in Mexico City, right?
Monterrey is close to
Oh,
Texas.
you're in Texas?
No, close to Texas. Monterrey. It's
Okay.
like 2 hours.
Monterrey.
Monterrey,
Yeah,
yeah.
beautiful Monterrey. Oh my God. It's not like the Beverly Hills of Mexico.
Not really, but something. It's okay.
Or
It's
it used to
like,
be anyway.
yeah, it's the financial pole of Mexico or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Those strong.
So, yeah. So that's the thing. Like women, they'll put themselves in debt, credit card for the latest purse, and it's a $5,000 purse. Where's your values? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
yes,
everyone's
yes.
values. You don't believe, and then everybody comes to me unhappy. And the first thing I say to them is unplug. Get off. What are you on the dating app? Get off of that app. Like I make them unplug. Get back to what you are. You're an organism. You are an organic organism. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll ask questions like, "What's the last thing you ate?" Or "What's the last movie you watched?" Or the last show you watched? And as soon as 9 times out of 10, they're watching stuff that's not helping them, but it's entertainment. Do you see what I'm saying? So
Yes,
everyone
yes.
needs to get off.
No, I agree, and that's one of the messages on my channel that I don't think happiness is out there. I think
No.
happiness is in here. So if you're trying to fill an empty you with purses, with watches, with cars, with even traveling, which is traveling I like a lot. But I think it's the kind of the best things you can buy with money. But physical
agree.
things, a car, it's nice to have a nice car, but is that really, it's probably going to make you happy for a day or two. And then if you're empty inside, you're trying to fill with all these external things, you're going to end up empty. And that's why a lot of people that are very rich financially, they're very wealthy financially, they're empty. Okay, they're empty. And I see what you're saying, and I think you're helping your clients by saying it's not out there. Start feeling here, okay? And sometimes it's free. Sometimes, of course, money is such a difficult topic because I just recently made an episode of a very little known Italian case. You probably know about it. I don't know. You heard of it, Pietro Maso, which at 19, he killed his parents to inherit their money. He was so into the clothes, and you know Italians, that especially males, they dress very nice. It really is not related to their financial status, but even if they have to spend their whole salary in a nice car, a nice watch, a nice suit, they're a lot into appearances. Their hair is not like mine. They're very, very well taken care of, and stuff like that. So this guy just made a show because he at 19 in 1991, in order to sustain that, he killed with 3 friends his parents to try to inherit the money. So money is an energy for me that is so difficult because we need it. It's okay to have it. It's okay to look for it. But I'm not sure, even the Bible says it, I'm not sure it's okay to love it.
Well, money is supposed to be gold and silver. That's God's money. That's the real worth, right? So like the dollar, that's why it's fake money, because it's not backed by gold at the moment. Hasn't been for 30, 40 years.
It was until 1971, I believe, yes.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, remember that, like the story of the Bible where Jesus Christ got mad in the temple and he threw the money? He threw all the tables because they were measuring, right? 3 of this and 2 of that. That's greed. That's insecurity. When people ask me, don't you have life insurance? I mean, if I have life insurance, it would be so that my family doesn't have to pay for my burial. For example.
Yes.
But I tell them to bury me in the backyard.
I told them to throw them into the sea or something like that. I mean, yeah, same
in America,
stuff.
If you bury, I mean, consult with your lawyer. I'm not an expert, but you don't pay taxes on the house. And you know how many times an American pays their house off, but if they can't pay taxes, government comes take your house, but not if a family member is buried there.
Oh, I didn't know
that.
that.
Baby. Of course, they don't want to tell you anything that helps you. They want you a slave. And that's why we have to stop looking at money, because money is not the only way of exchange. There's an energy about it. Well, that's kind of like whether it's just a coupon. It's what we feel it means. Oh, I got paid this per hour, right, for consulting. Oh, I'm worth this. I'm priceless. Like, I believe this. I'm not even joking. I like to be funny about it, but I mean it.
No,
I
I
am
agree.
priceless.
I agree. I know what you're saying.
But I charge a certain amount for two reasons. One, if I don't charge a certain amount, people don't think I'm as valuable as I know that I am. Two, I don't want my time wasted. So I've created this price bracket just so that people don't waste their time, don't waste my time. So it's not about how much I'm worth. I tell people all the time too, like maybe you pay me an hour, maybe you buy, a package and we work together for 3 months. I go, you went to college? How much did you spend? And I'm going to get you where you want to be in less than a month that you spent your 30s, your 40s, all of it. Because I'm going to give you what life is really about, what you really need to be happy, to be secure and succeed. But going back to the insurance thing. So the whole I can't remember the English word, but the whole basis of like life insurance is based on fear.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
So if something happens to my wife or my husband,
It's exactly, yes.
but that fear, that the fact that we have this fake sense of security, because even the insurance company, any of them, at any moment can tell you they don't have any money. So again, instead of us thinking our security system should be the way it's been done for hundreds of years, which is be friends with your neighbors, look after each other's back, make sure, take care of that old lady, call her, show up, knock on her door, give her, put breath of life in her. And so going back to the money exchange, or like, I know I sound like I do this all the time, sorry, but I'm coming right back. I'm coming right back. And so money is not the only way. That piece of paper is not the only way to exchange goods. The bartering system worked for longer than any coin in history. I'll give you 2 chickens for 2 bags of potatoes or something like that, right? So, but nobody wants to dirty their fingernails anymore. Yet we're healthier when we're touching the earth. What are the things I tell my clients to do? Get a garden or find a garden. Like, you need to cook your own food. Even if you can't afford it, even if you make millions, I want you to cook your food. I want you to buy the whole chicken. I don't want you to cut up the chicken. If you're a vegan, you get what I'm saying? I need you to be human, because that's the only way. We were built to be this way. We weren't built to be in a lie after a lie after a lie after a lie. So packaged meat, that's already the bone cut out and the skin, you don't even know what, you take it for granted. You don't even really know what goes into it or how they kill it or process it. Those eggs come from stressed out chickens. How good can that egg be? And see, so our standard, now people are buying plastic shoes, but it's a name brand, so they'll spend the $50-$60 and it's plastic. Why? They're not, some of these people, especially the younger generation, they don't even know the difference between leather and plastic. They can't tell the difference. They've never even felt it on their feet. Because anybody who has something good wants. If you have the best chocolate in the world, let's say from Venezuela, and you go to a Hershey's bar in America, you can't stomach it. Once you've had the best, you can't go back. So they've all been, everyone, especially the Americans, the propaganda, the brainwashing started since before they were born. Because if you go back to World War I, World War II, and they needed the women to work, they got a bunch of propaganda to get the women to work. Let's help your husbands. Let's help your kids. Oh, matter of fact, that old bread, don't throw it out. You can repurpose that bread. And the soap bars, don't throw out that little piece that you're left with. Keep accumulating all the little pieces and you get a ball. They did this. They made sure that if they needed to show people how to save money. But now it's the opposite. Be in debt. Matter of fact, you can't even rent an apartment unless you have debt. Oh, you don't have a credit card? Let's give you a credit card. Let's start you off with Sears. Well, now the company's gone, but whatever. Target. Here's your $300 limit. Do you understand? So the parents do it too, because the parents don't want to live in their means. The parents also have a mortgage and then they go to a party. I'll be the first one to be like, oh, do you rent or do you own? Oh yeah, I own. I just bought a house. Love it. Really? You paid for it? Well, no, I mean, I got a mortgage. But see, the mind trick, the gaslighting, where they really believe it's theirs. It's yours or it's not. Like, I don't buy a car, pay for it full, and then say that I'm leasing it, right? Like, but we do this. We lie and lie and we lie to each other. and no one cares, and everybody's greedy and selfish because that's the whole thing. It's easier, actually, to believe money has energy. I don't believe that. Money does not have energy. And gold and silver has a purpose. It's a valuable metal. We can do many things with that to sustain and to improve our life. But does gold itself have energy? Sure. Even an adamant object like this table has energy. But as far as money as an energy, there's a Spanish saying, and my friends used to say it all the time, and it says, todo lo que mueve el mundo es el dinero. So that everything that moves
The world is money.
It's money. So, but it's our belief in it. Because if I give you $1 from Monopoly money, where's the energy there? So it's our belief is the energy. And what we think is valuable. That's $50. Who cares, man? It'd be different if you give me a $100 bill, right? If I give somebody $1 there, I even have homeless people. They'll be like, that's it? Like, and they'll give you an attitude in Philadelphia. They'll give you an attitude if you give them $1.
Yes, actually, I remember having this conversation with a friend a few years ago when crypto started creeping up. And his point was that, in his opinion, it had no value. And I said, it's just a file, just a cryptographic file. I agree with you. It's really, but does a bill, a $100 bill, has value, intrinsic? No, it's the value of the faith on the government of the United States and the $100 bill, in the economy of the United States. Same here with crypto. Some have elected to give it value. It's going to have value. I mean, for me, it's amazing that Bitcoin, I just read today, it's $71,000.
I saw that today.
I remember when it was 1 and 1 in 2011, I believe it was, and less than that. So unfortunately, I didn't get a few then. But it's amazing that people continue to give it value. And one interesting fact of crypto, especially Bitcoin, is that they're going to be less and less and less because it's giving out less, and the mining is giving out less and less and less. Is the algorithm like that? So it was the story or the rules were clear since the beginning. We're going to give out a lot when it has no value. If you're smart about it, it's going to be giving less and less and less. So if you keep them, you're going to have something there. But you're right. Money has no intrinsic value. I agree with you. So it has no energy. I was meaning of more the negative energy or what I call the demonic energy of money. When, for example, if you gather a group of people and you say, what will you do for $1 million? And maybe some of them are going to say, well, not much. I'm not going to kill someone for $1 million. And you keep increasing the amount. And you say, what will you do for $1 billion? And a lot of them are going to say very awful stuff. So for me, that's when money becomes such an energy that you will do anything to get it.
But it's not the money.
It's what the money will get you.
It's the belief.
It's the belief, yes.
So the person that says yes to I'll kill for that amount of money, what they're saying is that their consciousness, which I believe in evil, like I know for a fact that evil exists. There's dark entities, just like there's good angels, there's bad angels. Let's just put it in a very basic term. I see them, I know they're real. They're not just people that are crazy. It's definitely real. So if somebody says, because I've had offers that I've had to turn down because I couldn't sell my soul. And I didn't have to kill anybody, but I had to sleep with someone when I was working at NBC in order for me to get the job, the position I wanted as a TV host. They were flat out. Who are you sleeping with? You're sucking somebody. And I don't mean to be crude. I don't want to offend your audience. But this is reality. And artists do it every day. Singers, actors, every day. Some don't. But how many? That's the reality isn't money. The reality is people, they listen to that nasty voice in their head. They can choose to feed. Remember that old Indian saying? Which angel and devil. Yeah, which wool did he listen to? Right? Mm-hmm. So I couldn't live with myself. I couldn't do it. Even if they said they gave me a whole treasure of gold links, that they gave me a whole, trunk, right? Un baúl of gold links. I know that they showed it to me. I know my brain, my consciousness would have said, Olga, it's only a little, you know what I mean? Like, no big deal. It's just your body. But see, the body never forgets. And the soul doesn't. So it doesn't even matter if you believe in a God that's judging you. Because see, he's letting you do what you want, right? What a great God. What a great creator. But we know what's right and wrong. The moment that I sell myself, I don't know if I can say the word fuck. I just did.
It's okay.
Anyway, it's not the only time. Men that wanted to marry me, date me, marry me. And I'm not saying this as a woman. I'm just giving you examples that my life, God, I'd probably be on a yacht for sure right now. No doubt about it. If I sold myself. And
But those men that wanted to marry you, it was not.
they were like the classic sugar daddy. So
Oh,
they were
okay,
very
okay.
unattractive or
I
very
was thinking
old.
it was more a relationship or anything. No, it was
Well, yeah, they wanted a
was-
relationship, but I didn't want them.
okay.
But they were willing to pay for me. They
Okay.
were very willing. The price was limitless. It still is. Every time I go out, I'll always meet somebody, whether they're my age or older. It's very easy to find somebody to buy you. And then put yourself out there like you're in a wonderful, healthy relationship. Or these women, I don't care, I'll do whatever he wants because I got the bag and I got this and I got that. Meanwhile, they're all popping pills. They don't know how to contain themselves. They don't develop. They don't mature in any way. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you become putrefied. There is no easy way.
You
There is
become
no easy way.
numb. I think you numb yourself when you're in a relationship like that, trying to forget really what you're doing.
Yeah,
To
every day.
Yeah.
And then how about every time you have to make love to somebody you can't stand? Oh, that's not damaging. Oh, yeah, she knows how to compartmentalize, she or he, because men do it too. More now than ever. Men are doing it too. So this is not a woman, this is for both of us. Like for all humans, you have to have values and you have to stick by them. And if it's fear-based, you're going to make the wrong decisions because you're scared. You're scared to be alone. You're scared you're going to starve to death, or you're scared you won't have a roof over your head for whatever reasons. So, I mean, poor people do it, rich people do it. People sell themselves. And that's where I'm very passionate about the money factor and the energy, because the choice is there. Unless you've been kidnapped, right? And then forced, drugged up and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But as far as money being evil, if the bill was a coupon, nobody would be a prostitute. Nobody would be a pimp. Nobody would be a drug dealer in the sense, right? Because they have to produce it. Like in order to sell a product, you have to produce it. But if you don't have the money exchange, can you imagine if they had to walk around with gold coins?
Yes. I guess money, my point was that money can become a drug, like any other drug, alcohol, sex even, or anything else that you're willing to do something, as you say, and some people are very easy into not respecting their values, to do anything to get that drug, okay? And
I agree.
And for me, it's so unfortunate because I disagree with the ones that call abundance to have money, like Elon Musk or even Trump or anything like that. For me, it's not abundance. Abundance should be like air.
Yes.
So what does it mean? That we all get abundance, but not that we all have Rolexes and Ferraris, that we all, like you say, have food, shelter. Like when you are in a family gathering, in a friend gathering, I share that model, which is similar to bartering. Like really, you don't get a fuss about, hey, you do that, or you didn't do that. Or everyone is participating willingly. Okay, so some people do the meat, and some people prepare the tables, and some people bring the drinks, and some people bring chairs, and maybe some people don't do anything. But at the end, everyone is happy, and there is not this concept like we have right now in scarcity, because I believe we live in scarcity. That's why abundance is like air, everything else is scarcity. And in this concept of scarcity, we have to introduce the element of exchange. And that's when I think the future, of humanity is we're going to get to a point that we're going to find a way of living in abundance. So that will solve all of humanity's problems, because to live in abundance, we're going to have a lot of maturity.
I love that. You brought me to this vision I just got that I've had. So you know how the Bible predicts, right, that Jesus Christ is coming back,
Mhm.
and then there'll be 1,000 years of peace, right?
Yes.
Astrology looks at where the planets are shifting, especially Pluto, that's going, the whole age of Aquarius thing. And so without getting into massive details about how Pluto just went into Aquarius, and what does that mean for the world, they're both telling that the future will be one of peace. But that's the thing, according to the Bible, or according to Jesus, that he's coming back and that we'll have 1,000 years peace. Well, isn't that funny? That if in fact it happens and it's real and all that, and it was written correctly, right? And he did say those things and he comes. Imagine a world where, because according to the Bible, it also says that Jesus will be like flying through the sky and there won't be a human on earth that won't be able to see who he is, right? Now imagine the moment that everybody sees God coming through the clouds. Of course we're going to have abundance, because the moment people realize that there's something bigger than them, that's the other reason to sell your soul, because you think like Satanists. I've studied that a lot. I know everything about it. Again, you don't get into like astrology, or at least you shouldn't, without studying the esoteric fully and deeply. So with that being said, paganism, Satanism, these practices exist all over the world. And they've been. I mean, even the Bible talks about, when Moses, freed his people, right? And what do they do while he's in the mountain doing the 10 Commandments? They're having a party. They're belting all their gold and they're building a calf. They worship the calf, right? The cow. So again, it's so much easier to project and to look at objects. Again, that's the money, that's the sell, because it is harder when you're not being raised to look inside. If we raise children from the time they're born to trust their intuition, to look inside, if we raise them saying there's something out there that's very powerful, that's the guy who created you. I didn't create you. You came out of me, right? But I didn't create you. I didn't create my sperm. I didn't create the eggs, right? And he's watching, kind of like Santa Claus. It's funny how they do that with Santa Claus. You better be good. You better be nice, right? Yes, Santa Claus is Satan. Okay, that's another subject to talk about conspiracies. But the facts are, now they're called conspiracies. When I was talking about them in the 80s and 90s, my friends always like, oh my God, Olga, what? I would spend hours at the library looking into all kinds of old books. I was fascinated by like just the truth. My parents locked me in a convent. Everybody, the society, right, in Spain, the church, my parents, everybody wanted to control me. And then I found they were all lying, or I would catch them lying. And then I also saw how weak they were and how they would lie from insecurity or manipulation, blackmail and shit. So all those reasons, I'm like, what is going on here? Because as a kid, most of us are good people. And we learn how to be a certain way. You know that, right? It's nurture, nature. It's a combination of both. Of course, the DNA makes a difference. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's how do you become a good person and how do you stand good? My father used to say to me, he would hit me if I was like 5 minutes late. And I mean like harsh. And he would say, if you don't lie to me, I won't hit you. So tell me the truth or I'll hit you. And I would tell him the truth and he didn't believe me and he would hit me. Do you understand? So it's like, I have so much of that I personally did suffer a lot growing up, but I also made a choice. Again, we all have choices. My mother said, if anybody's going to turn into a prostitute and a drug addict and on the street and pregnant by 18 or 17, or, when I left, it would be you. I had the choice to believe her and to become that. And I made a choice. I'm going to prove you wrong. Do you see what I mean? We all have that fucking choice. I know what it's like when you really need something, when you need money. I've lived on the street. And when you have that, and it's so easy. People would say to me, why don't you become a stripper? You'd make so much more money. When I was a server going to college.
I understand.
Do you see what I'm saying? So every time we make a decision, and it's so easy. Oh, I'll even be a stripper, and I'll pay for my college. So where's everybody's principles? It starts with the babies, how you raise your kids. Now who's raising the kids? Cell phones. Legit. Don't tell me you don't see it everywhere you go. The kids are just 2 years old, holding the phone, totally zombied out, addicted to the phone like they're on crack cocaine. And the parents, they're just happy the kid's not crying. So people don't want to do the work. So all this good, all this money, all these lies made us even worse. It's not the money. It's very easy to want a comfortable life. I mean, when you look at even the movies where they show the Romans eating grapes and laying there, Emperor Caesar. Yeah. Yeah. When you have everything you need, and you don't have to do anything, and you got other people doing the main work, and you just have to point the finger and dictate. Yes, we have that side in us, but it's up to a good leader not to listen to that side of himself. It's up to a good leader to put his standards up and say, I'm not going to eat all I can just because I can. What are the reasons one of the sins is gluttony? I know I'm sounding very religious, but it's just fascinating that I've studied every religion. I have delved into Buddhism, and I keep coming back to these stories and these examples that I'm going, the reason why the Western world really, even after I lived in Germany a couple of years, and even after World War II, right? And Germany was in shambles. And the people getting together, how did they build that country back up? How? And they paid America what they owed them while they were doing it. You know how they did it? It was kind of like the way Franco did, ration food to get Spain back on its feet. Even if people were like, he was a dictator. Listen, nobody knows their true story because they went to school and they believed whatever teacher. You got to do your own research, and you got to go to books that are written at least 100 years ago. Nothing in like the 21st century. But at the end of the day, you go, okay, once again, when the people unite, they build back. You know what I'm saying? Like no government came, no soldiers built it back. It was the people. It was the community. All right, the war's over. All right, let's clean it up and let's start rebuilding. That's the power of the people. I don't know how.
Yes, I know. As I was sharing before recording, and I share with my audience a few times that I'm originally from Italy. I was born there, so I have a lot of family there. And you're right. I know very well the Italian story. The people rebuilt the country back, and also leaving Mussolini in 1945, and then going into actually forming Italy, because Italy was not really a country, was Savoia and some other bigger provinces in a way that they united. It was formed in 1945, technically. They rebuilt the country, and the amazing part for me is you go there in small cities, small towns, and even churches that were bombarded during World War II were rebuilt, that you could say, hey, we don't really need to, let's just build a new one, or, no, they rebuilt it to the original state, really trying to conserve that heritage or that history. So I think Europe got itself back to its feet after World War II.
But it's the people, right?
But the power of the people, yes.
Satanic, nothing to do with God. If anybody actually does their research, it's not even an insult. Okay, these are facts. So if people keep judging Christianity as because the churches, regardless whether it's Baptist, Catholic, right? The churches, including Mormons, all of them, because they're fallible, they take away the fact that it's the Christian values that the Italians used and the Germans to rebuild their country. Not their government, not their president, not even the freaking mayor. It was the people. You just get up and start picking shit up. You get what I mean? That's the thing, the unity that we have.
Yes, I agree. That would be great to see again, that we rebuild, we transform this world in that way. The only thing is, you mentioned something very important. People are comfortable, and we love comfort in a way. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's a fact.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's a fact, that we love comfort. That's why people love first class. That's why people love nice cars. That's why people love big houses, nice houses, because we love, it's a natural thing. We love comfort. And in order for the world to change, I think we're going to have to get uncomfortable and really release this state of comfort and understand that, as you say, we're going to have to get to work and set up a more just, balanced, and in abundance world. Maybe it's going to take a long while, hundreds of years. I don't know. But I think we're going to find ways to feed everyone without destroying the planet in doing that. I also shared it's a little bit of a conspiracy theory that we're going to find ways to feed ourselves from the environment, from the sun, from the energy that is here with us, because at the end, what we eat is just an
Like
energy.
mana? Like mana, is that what you're talking about? Like mana?
Yes, something like that.
Mhm.
I call it from the ether, from the
Ether,
environment.
yeah, I agree.
So because if you think about it, our digestive system, starting with the mouth, ending all the way through the stomach, and that is just an energy transformation system. I mean, you put something, a solid or a liquid, that is transformed into vitamins, into calories, into proteins, into fats. And if you can replace that with something else, I mean, there are stories that people have been able. A friend of mine, she's amazing in a way. She's a woman, and she eats very little salads, very little. She has a lot of energy. She's very thin, of course, and she loves the sun. She could be in the sun for hours. So I'm sure the sun can provide in some way. Maybe we need a kind of evolution of our bodies or something, but can provide that. And just imagine, because if you think about it, plants, they live through the sun, just basically water, soil, and sun for a lot of plants to cherish, okay, to grow, and so
Yeah.
we will have to come up with something that there's a lot as something that is probably gonna get the video in trouble, that it's energy, that I don't think electrical energy is the way to go. It's basically we're gonna get in the same mess that
Unless
with
we extract
fossil fuels.
energy
Unless,
out of the ether.
oh no, that's perfect. No, I'm talking the battery and
Oh, no,
Tesla,
I agree with you. Yeah.
I'm talking about that. Yeah, no, that's the way to go. I'm convinced there's energy in the ether. There's
course.
everything that we need. You think about it, a universe, a creator, is not gonna make it hard on us. Okay, it's gonna provide everything. Is maybe that we have been more than not discovered. I think stuff has been taken away from us through history. Information has been taken away from us, and there's a lot of information out there, and I do agree with you about religions and about what you mentioned about the Vatican and all that. But I believe the best religion is inside you, is your connection. Like you say, you don't go to church, but you speak to God. I believe you. That's the best way. Go and look for God inside you. You have a connection there. You have a connection there because you come from there. You come from the creator. We all agree that. I think most people, unless you're an atheist or something like that, most people are in agreement. We come from a creator. So why wouldn't you have a connection to him? Okay. You do. And he's really willing to speak to you. And he's really willing. He's not going to solve your things. That's another topic that we asked. I interviewed a person in the Spanish channel that he was upset with God because he didn't fulfill, a person died and I asked God to save him. Maybe it was his time to die. We tend to have this relationship with God that maybe is not as symbiotic, that you give me, I give you, I pray to you, I adore you, so you give me back. Maybe he puts a little bit more responsibility on us that we want, I think. And one of the things is especially that that really we have a lot of the things we need to do it ourselves. I don't know what you think of that.
What part?
No, that this relationship with God is very difficult to put in words. That religion especially say, okay, pray more and that. And I see it that God gives us all the tools to solve our problems. If he really will come here to solve all of our things, then what does he leave to us? Okay, I don't believe in this adoration part. I believe God is my creator and his love is unlimited and without conditions. And that's why I say, if you're listening in a prison, if you're listening everywhere, God, the creator, loves you, because we think maybe that we don't deserve the love of the creator, and we do. He loves us completely. Okay, and as you said, he allows us to make our own decisions, and he obviously allows us to make our mistakes. And of course, he has to allow us to make things better, to try to come back from our bad decisions or mistakes. So this notion that God helps some because they pray to him or they are from certain religion, for example, I hear it, people, oh, I believe in this and I believe in that, so that's why God, that's why God doesn't help others. Well, I disagree. I believe his love is unconditional for all of us. It really doesn't matter what your beliefs. He doesn't care about that. He cares that you find him in your heart. That's it. And you have a connection. You really don't need the other stuff. You don't need
Yeah,
to
but
go
there's
to a
still
church.
discipline, because that's one of the things that I find I have to reiterate a lot with friends, whoever asks me, or clients, but it's still a discipline. So just praying and being connected, you have to be grateful. You have to
Yes,
you have
I
to
agree.
speak up. You have to help others. Like you have to
Yeah.
represent.
Mhm.
So it's not just me. No, you do you for a little bit, like to get yourself in check and be connected, because when you're connected, you feel happier, you feel fulfilled, and you feel more calm, like meditation. But see, meditation, people don't, a lot of it, people don't know what's happening, like yoga, and things come in them. Because again, they're not truly strong to be so in relax that they don't even know what's coming through their mind, right?
You need to be
It's,
careful. I agree with meditation and yoga and all that. I agree.
yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that can
I've
come
been
through
in
that.
yoga rooms. I've only done it a few times, and every time, and I've been to different places. People are like, "Oh, maybe you didn't have a good teacher." Maybe people would get me like a Groupon, and I would go, or a boyfriend that I would have, and he's like, "I think this you're gonna like it." I went there. I've done it every time I go to a yoga class. It's never positive in there. I can see through everybody. I can feel them, and I'm telling you, I feel like I'm in a cabbage patch of negative entities jumping on everybody. It's crazy, but it's I don't feel afraid. I don't feel scared or anything like that. I just go, oh my God, like here they are thinking they're being healthy, and relaxing and mind over matter, mind, body, and soul connection. But the thing is, when they're saying, one thing is to say, breathe and listen to your breathing, right? Because that does help calm you down, when you're nervous or stressed. But then what? Then you just empty your mind. Who are you talking to? They're not giving people the connection of even like the universe. It's very narcissistic, and it's very physical. And so to me, that's another if you want to
That's
get
a
into
topic
time.
for another show. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I want to say I agree with you completely. We're here to serve others, but
Yes.
in order to serve others, we have to be strong. That's why I'm saying that the responsibility is a little bit more on us.
Yeah.
I do see a lot of victimism in the world, a lot of minimization, a lot of people throwing themselves to the ground, to their knees. And I say, you are strong. And the best part of, for example, helping homeless people and people that need help is trying to get them up and then help them help themselves. Okay. More than giving them food all the time and money all the time. How about you get strong and I teach you a trade, or I help you develop a skill, or I help you get a job? Because if I only give you money and money and money, am I really helping you? You're still out
No.
there. You're still out there in your knees. You're still out there homeless.
Right. But
Yeah.
one way that people don't realize how much this is effective is, even if you don't help somebody, just be a good person yourself. Because like everything is a learned behavior. Like you see a bunch of artists dressing up as demons in all their shows and their videos, for example, right? So everyone thinks that's cool. It's subliminally accepted, or no big deal, it's just art, right? All these reasons. But that's the thing. If more people said, you know what, like going to the grocery store, I'm going to bring my own cloth bag. I was doing that 25 years ago before cloth bags existed. So, but people weren't here. Now you see it more and more in like some countries and even some states in America, that banned plastic bags, for example. California, plastic straws, whatever. You get the point of what I'm getting at. And so when I started bringing my own container instead of using their bags for meat even, right? Or bulk beans, people would look at me like I was crazy. Now it's still not that common in Philadelphia, but it's a little bit more where people know now what you're doing. But before I'm like, can you put the meat in here? Or can you put that in here? And they're just like, and then when I'm going to the checkout, people are just, if everybody did it, everybody would be doing it. So there's not enough emphasis on every person to be better. You be more quiet. You be more respectful. You open the door for people. You help the old lady cross the street. You do. You be as good of a person you can be, as giving as you can be, as generous as you can be. People are going to watch you. it's going to rub off. And the more of us doing it, the more it happens.
Yes, yes. That's a very great point, and I agree with you. And if I could add something to that, is try to do it without being worried if it comes back to you, because I see it.
Yes.
Just do it. Just do it. Open the door to a lady. Help. Maybe you're in the supermarket. A lady, I'm talking older lady, maybe is struggling. Offer to take her stuff to her car. Do little acts like that, but without worrying if someone is seeing you, without uploading them to social media, without seeking that thing. Because I'm not saying that that's wasted, but the whole purpose is if you throw that kind of energy into the world that you're saying, it's gonna start becoming symbiotic in a way. It's gonna rub off, as you say. Especially when you do it from the heart, which I think
Yeah.
is when you do it without really seeking anything. Like, let me help you. Oh, can I pay you? No, I don't want any money. I'll help you.
Selfless.
I'll help you. Okay.
Selfless.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the thing is, when people want to feel better, that's like the easiest way to feel better automatically. Like if you're feeling depressed or anxious or anything, like, again, all this mental illness, get off your phone, stop watching Netflix or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and go help your neighbor, get to know your neighbor, especially the older people. And, maybe volunteer to walk somebody's dog or their pets. Again, obviously, you can't just trust anybody, any stranger that says, hey, can I help you
Yes.
walk your dog? But at the end of the day,
Find a purpose. I think
yes.
find something, because I don't want to belittle depression. My mother had depression. It's a real thing. It's really
Yes.
not nice. But she had a lot of time in her hands. It got to her when we were all older, when we were out of the house. She started getting lonely, and she had to find a purpose. She found a different thing, and she got out of her depression. So I'm not saying all depressed people are lazy or they don't have anything to do. I'm just saying it helps to try to find something that you do selflessly, help others, go
Absolutely.
into some volunteering, into something. It's going to help a lot to see yourself useful like that. Olga, we have been going on for a little bit more than an hour, and I know you have an
Did we really?
engagement. Yes, and I know you have an engagement in a few minutes. So, do you have anything in closing for us? First of all, I wanna commit you that we have a couple of more chats, because I think we left a lot of topics on the table.
Yeah.
So I would love to have you back if that's okay with you. But
Me too.
yeah.
And I would love to be back. Thank you. Yeah. And also,
I also want to clarify that I'm going to put all the information you share with me on the video description right there. So if anyone wants to get in touch with you, maybe someone from the US or anything like that, or for people also to visit your channel out there. I know you're in different platforms.
sure. Yeah.
Sure.
And you should be on, we should set something up for you to be on my podcast.
Sure, I would love to. Yes.
And you can pick the topic, or I could pick, whatever you want.
I love other stuff. I don't know how comfortable you are with that. I'm a little bit like Adam in that I'm into other stuff and death and what happens, spiritual worlds, and I'm a lot into that. I research a little bit about it, so I don't know if there's any way to prove any of that things anyway. But let's say I can talk about it. So I talk a lot about death, about what I think happens when we die, and especially not to be fearful of death. By living, by enjoying your day, every day, by every day making it an important day. Because I think when you're fearing death, it's because you're pushing it. You're saying, okay, I hope it happens in 50 years. Well, what you are going to do with those 50 years? Live today. I mean, if you, I trying to share this sense of harmony that, for example, you're upset with your parents. Well, try to patch things up. And if they don't want to patch things up, that's fine. You tried. But we sometimes have problems with all kinds of people, and we're just pushing things, pushing. And as you say, we get home, we start Netflix up, or we watch a game, and just a day blurs into another day. And are we really living? And that's why you're afraid of dying, because you are not really living in a way. That's what I'm trying to share. Yeah.
I agree. It's true.
So thank you very much, Olga. I really enjoy it. Will you like to share anything in closing, or?
Oh, just thank you for having me. I hope your audience enjoys it.
Yes. This is gonna come out actually this Friday. We're recording this on Tuesday, the 29th. This coming out on November the 1st. So it's going to come out before the election. So you heard it here first. I'm 100% guaranteeing Trump is going to win. I know it's not that big of a prediction, but so I hope everything goes okay on Tuesday in the US, that it's a peaceful day. I've heard a few things. They're saying more conspiracy stuff that could happen. I hope it's a peaceful day, a day of celebration, that the candidate that the people wants wins, because that's the concept, that's the purpose of elections, okay? That the country is united, not divided, okay?
Exactly.
And I hope you guys have a great day on Tuesday, okay? The
Thank
world is watching. I'm going to watch for sure.
I know.
Oh.
Thank you. All right,
Yes. Thank you very much, Olga.
Alex, until next time,
Yes. Thank you very much. Thanks.
much love.
Much
Have a
love.
good night or a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover your true self. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and to serve others. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover your true self? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to the universe. Simply ask, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my purpose? You will start getting signs, breakthroughs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about this reality start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering your true self equals to real freedom. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to understand this reality, but you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will set up a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, lust, envy, violence, justice through violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only your egoic mind and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.